Alright then guys, so I'm just going to talk through and analyse one of the hill rep sessions that I did whilst I was out in France, Carcassonne, on a training camp a fair while back now, but I've only just got around to putting this video together, but I thought it would still be of interest to put it up. We were actually coming to the end of a 2-week training camp, and each of us athletes was starting to get pretty tired, I think, by this point. I think I'm right in saying that it was actually our final hard session whilst we were out there, but anyway, this was the final rep of that session itself, which was 4 rounds of 7 minutes hill climbs. That was broken into 5 minutes, being that we had to hold it just at that threshold pace, kind of enough where you're able to hold it for a long time, but still feeling very uncomfortable at the same time. But you're not going to burn out. And then we would go straight into the next 2 minutes that would total it to 7 minutes, pretty much at max effort, almost all out. I'm trying to remember exactly what watts we were set to be able to see, because I don't actually have the data for that on here. Obviously, I don't think I have my power meter on at this time, but I'm not going to pluck a number out in the air, so we'll just have to go off of my kind of heart rate on this video. We were given different partners for each ride during each rep. This one I was partnered with Cam. Cam's represented Great Britain a few times as a junior, and an under 23 in European Championships, European Cups and other big races, so a pretty good athlete as a whole. But I think it's fair to say that we're pretty similar on the bike, and he was a good partner to ride with here. I think we decided on this rep that we would take turns at the front over 2-minute intervals, so he would take the front for the first 2, I would then come through, he would then come through, and I think on the last 2 minutes it was almost a free-for-all. It would be who could manage to hold it, really. I'm pretty sure when we get to the end he's the one that's holding it and I'm clinging on for dear life, but we'll get to that point. Yeah, it's interesting here, you can just see that I'm just maintaining this heart rate of around 155 to 160 beats per minute. That kind of shows that I'm probably doing it correctly. We're meant to hold this threshold pace whilst not burning out, and I'd say that's probably around my threshold heart rate, so I'm clearly doing it correctly. But yeah, I've just come through here, as you can see. It's my turn at the front. The video, I don't think, actually gives this climb justice. This climb was a lot steeper than this video gives it out to be. It was a quiet country road out in France. It was it was a lovely summer's day, pretty hot. I think well, the temperature gauge there says 25, but I'm pretty sure it was a lot hotter than that. I was sweating buckets. But that's a Brit out in France, probably. That's probably the difference. But I knew it was the final. You can tell here I'm breathing pretty heavily, so I'm starting to feel it a little bit more. We're starting to ramp up the climb itself together. I've finally managed to come through. I decided I would take a turn. I think it was more of a mental game here, actually. I knew that this was the final hard rep that I would be doing whilst I was out on this camp before I headed home for racing. I actually went home pretty fit. In the end, I got a couple of wins after this, so clearly this session paid off. Yeah, on the speed, we're holding kind of 30 k's an hour to 33. Yeah, you can't really base it off of speed here. It's slightly, it's a hill climb. It's not. You're not on a flat. It's totally different. But also I'm not going to be getting the same benefit here from a drafting perspective. Of course, I'm going to be getting some benefits just clinging on to someone's wheel. It helps in the head alone, just knowing that you've got something there to focus on. When you're at the front, you're on your own, whereas if you're holding a wheel, at least you've got that one thing to focus on. There are some other people up the road. That was another kind of goal that I think we had. See if you could catch the other people up the road. I think we did it in kind of order of who was the stronger athletes. So me and Cam were nearer the back end of that. So there were meant to be some athletes to catch. I think we might see towards the end us actually catch a couple of the athletes. But yeah, again, I'm just sitting on at this point, just trying to hold on. My heart rate has actually started to raise slightly. I think at this section of the climb it started to get a little bit steeper. I was just looking on my training peaks as well. The actual elevation of the climb itself was 100 metres in total over the 7-minute period. So that's, it's significant. It's nothing absolutely horrendous, but it was a long, steady climb. And yeah, it was. I think at this point, where are we at? We're at the 5:30 mark there, just past there. So I think we were also set to. Although I said that we were meant to hold this threshold pace for a period of 5 minutes, I think there was meant to be a gradual increase as well. So we have started to ramp it up here slightly. In fact, we're in the final 2 minutes, so maybe that's the actual reason why we're going a little bit harder. I clearly haven't come through, so it was more a case of clinging onto the wheel and just maintaining it. You can see there that Cam's already, he's upped his effort. My breathing, I don't know if you can hear that, but through these headphones I can certainly hear my breathing's pretty heavy. Look, Cam's out the saddle, he's pushing it. We're just going past one of the coaches there, filming us a little bit. I'm nearly dropped, but yeah, at this point of the course it has flattened out, so I am going to start getting the drafting benefit here. So I think I was pretty tired here. My heart rate's now 170 and above. At this point I think I am just clinging on, and there's the two athletes in front of us there, so we did manage to catch them, so that was at least a little bit of motivation for Cam whilst I've just got my head down looking at his wheel. Yeah, we're definitely pushing it here. 37 k's an hour, we're getting there. I think we're just coming up to the closing stages here. Just that sign, there we go. So that sign was the moment we knew that we were at the end of the rep. I think I breathed pretty heavily very shortly, like I'm flicking through the gears. So yeah, it was pretty brutal. I hope that gives you a good insight into what the session was like. Hopefully I'll get some more videos like this out there in the future, and be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.